Welcome. Today, we'll examine how science works behind the scenes. We'll explore the key components of the scientific ecosystem, researchers, universities, and journals, and how they all contribute to moving scientific knowledge forward. Let's start by looking at the key components of the scientific landscape. First and foremost, we have the researchers and scientists who lie at the heart of the scientific process and are the driving force behind every scientific discovery. Whether in physics, medicine, or any other scientific field. These are the people who identify gaps in our scientific knowledge and address unmet needs in our society. After identifying a research question to investigate, they design experiments, collect data, conduct analyses, and ultimately generate new knowledge. They do this by implementing the scientific method, which will be explained in detail later in this video. Scientists need a space to conduct their work. For this, we have research institutions and universities. Famous examples include Oxford and King's College London. These institutions act as innovation hubs, providing the facilities necessary for experiments and scientific discoveries, such as laboratories and equipment. Universities have three main roles. They provide a space for research, teach students what is already known, and train future researchers with the necessary skills. This is achieved via research projects, internships, fellowships, etc. All this costs money for equipment, spaces, and staff. This is where funding bodies come in. Funding is usually in the form of money or in-kind donations. Money can be used for anything from paying salaries to renting space or paying participant stipends. In-kind donations are contributions that provide support in forms other than money, such as computers, office space, software, and other helpful resources. Funding bodies include individuals, corporations' marketing departments, private corporate foundations, community foundations, which are comprised of donations from general members of the public and usually restricted to a specific geographic area, and finally, government agencies often dedicate funds to particular research areas, ensuring research is done in key sectors such as medicine or environmental science. In the UK, the Medical Research Council, MRC, is a major government-funded organisation supporting medical and health-related research. Charities like Cancer Research UK may also fund research within a particular area. Industry and private sector companies play a key role in translating scientific discoveries into practical applications. They invest in turning research findings into marketable products and services that benefit society. The industry focuses on applied research to develop new products, technologies, and services, known as applied research and development, R&D. Similarly, companies often have product ideas but may lack the science and understanding to develop them, so they fund research to explore those possibilities. Policymakers and regulators play critical roles in shaping the landscape of scientific research and ensuring that it is conducted ethically and responsibly. Here are some key ways in which they impact scientific research. 1. The main job of regulating bodies and policymakers is to develop and enforce regulatory frameworks and ethical guidelines governing scientific research. These regulations ensure ethical conduct, safety standards, and compliance with research-related laws involving human subjects, animals, and the environment. 2. Compliance. They also monitor research activities to ensure they follow the regulations and standards. 3. Funding allocation. Policymakers decide on government funding through budget allocations for scientific research and setting research priorities. Policymakers and regulators also establish laws regarding intellectual property and data privacy and support international research collaboration through agreements and cooperation frameworks. Examples are the European Medicines Agency, EMA, and the Food and Drug Administration, FDA, in the EU and the US, respectively. We now move on to the research process itself. The scientific method is a systematic step-by-step approach to research. It begins by asking a question, sparked by noticing a gap in our knowledge or something interesting or unusual. Next, a hypothesis is made. This is a prediction about what might happen or the answer to their question. Scientists then run experiments to test that hypothesis, gathering information and studying the results. Based on the data, they draw conclusions to see if their prediction is right or wrong. Finally, they share their findings with other scientists. This process ensures that the results are based on solid, reproducible evidence and that findings are not merely due to coincidence, which makes scientific findings trustworthy. However, before the research is published, it undergoes peer review. This is a process by which other experts in the field review the research before it's published to ensure its quality and credibility. To do this, peer reviewers look at whether research methods are thorough, if conclusions are accurate and supported by evidence, and if the scientific writing is clear and understandable. If necessary, they give feedback to help improve the research paper before publishing it. In this way, peer review is a crucial quality check. However, it does have some criticisms, like the potential for bias or a lack of transparency. If you're interested, we have a dedicated video on peer review. Once research is complete, it needs to be shared with the public and scientific community. Getting your research published in a scientific journal is a big deal for scientists because it shows that other experts have reviewed and approved their work, adding credibility to their findings. Journal rankings. Just like you might trust a well-known magazine more than a lesser-known one, researchers often look at journal rankings to gauge the quality and impact of published research. Impact factor is the most commonly used metric to rank journals. Higher impact factors typically indicate more significant influence in a field, however, they do not always reflect true quality or significance and should not be relied upon as the sole measure of research value. Research access. Some scientific journals are available only to subscribers or through academic institutions. However, a growing trend in the academic world is open access publishing, which means that more and more scientific journals are choosing to make their content freely accessible. Examples include Nature or the British Medical Journal. The next level in the scientific research process is the interdisciplinary collaboration. This involves bringing together experts from different fields to work towards a common goal, to help solve complex problems that cannot be solved by one discipline alone. This approach is like putting together puzzle pieces, each representing a different area of expertise. For instance, studying a complex illness might require specialists from multiple disciplines like medicine, genetics, or data science. Scientific research and technological progress go hand in hand. Research fuels technological innovations that are turned into practical applications. Think of smartphones, vaccines, renewable energy, or life-saving medical treatments. What starts as basic research can eventually evolve into solutions that make the world safer, healthier, and more connected. Research also informs public health policies. These are the strategies governments use to improve health outcomes, and they are based on solid evidence gathered through scientific studies. For example, during the COVID-19 pandemic, government decisions on mask wearing and social distancing were directly informed by scientific research. Scientific research leads to the development of new industries, technologies, and jobs, boosting innovation and making businesses more efficient. For example, advances in artificial intelligence and robotics have changed how factories and service industries work, making them faster and creating new, high-tech jobs. Medical research, like the development of vaccines, also saves money by improving public health and reducing healthcare costs. Finally, measuring the real-world impact of research. This involves evaluating how research outcomes affect society, industries, policies, and beyond. This is assessed via a variety of metrics, including citation analysis to track academic influence. Altmetrics. These are non-traditional indicators like social media downloads and views to capture online engagement. Patent citations to gauge innovation impact. Policy influence. that is, if research influences regulations or guidelines, which indicates a direct impact on decision-making. Commercialization, turning research into products, collaborations, media coverage, and funding success also contribute to understanding research impact. And last but not least, the societal benefits derived from research, such as solving real-world problems. That's an overview of the scientific ecosystem. It's an interconnected network that keeps science moving forward, from researchers and funding bodies to policymakers and industry, that not only drives scientific progress but also leads to real-world outcomes. Thanks for joining us. We hope this gave you a better understanding of how science works behind the scenes,